Right, just another little quick video of a little mini motor that's come in, little ATV. Pretty common thing from China, they all come with little air dryer engines. Come in, non-starting, well it was running, but it was bogging out for him. So it cutting out, his kid couldn't ride it, it'd start up and then just die on him. And he didn't really get long, and to be honest the quad's not even that old. So he's brought it in, and basically what is here's another carb, exactly the same as what's come off of that quad. So I'm just explaining all I've done to get it running is basically, this is obviously filthy, and inside I'm just showing you. So I've obviously took the quad off the quad, the carb off the quad. So I'm just showing you what I've done is obviously I've cleaned all this up on the outside and the inside. I made sure that when the little needle jet in there is when the float's in, I've made sure that when the float is when the float is up, it shuts off so it don't leak out, because it's a common problem with these little quads to be flooding and leaking out when I'll try to get it to drop down, hard little thing. See that camera there? You've got to make sure that that is set right. So when your little float's on there, it's set right so that it don't come up too much, so it don't leak out. So anyway, so I've cleaned all that out. I cleaned out obviously all inside the carb, everything on there. And another thing on these little, they don't have air screws. They don't have air screws on them. Basically all you do is you've got your tick over screw there, and then you've got one jet. Basically that's your only jet. They don't have no pilot screw. It's just that. Can't really see it in camera. Let's see there. Can't really see through it anyway. But on the quad itself, this was blocked. This is what gives it fuel. So obviously I've cleaned that passage out. So when I hold that up to the light, you want to make sure when you hold your jet up to the light, you can see all the way through it. If you want blow through it, I use compressed air. I soak it in obviously some clean fuel. Try to get everything in there that's loose. Instead of parts cleaner, I just use fuel, and then blow through with the compressor until that is fully open. Obviously, make sure when you put this back on, make sure all the gaskets are back on. Another problem with the quad was on this, on his quad, this fuel tap here. This is the one off of his. I've took the one off of this carb for his because this is blocked. So you've got two little screws there to take it off. As soon as you take it off and you get it in the on position, you should be able to blow through that. And now I've put compressed air through there and then cleaned it up. I've actually just put it in my mouth and blown through it to see how clear it is, because when you're blowing compressed air through, you can't really tell how much is going through. So basically I've just blown through that, and it was like it was turned off. I mean, it didn't fully stop my breath from going through, but it went through very, very, very slowly. So obviously on this carb, I was lucky enough to, I just keep one of these sitting about because these quads come in quite a bit, and now there is not much to them. So but they're very, very cheap on eBay. I think you can buy a brand new one of these for like £7 or something like that. Very, very cheap. But I always keep one about just in case. Say I need a part, I can just take off it, because instead of waiting for eBay times to send out, I can just clean these up, put them on, and the job can be done very, very quick instead of sat waiting about for 3 days or something for postage to come. So basically all I've done on his quad with the carb on it is cleaned everything up, made sure the carb is mint, blown through, made sure the float sets right. I've made his made sure his jets are clean, everything, put it back together, and that's it. I don't know if you can see it. I've cleaned it up and that, turned fuel on. Now on these, what you want to do is, what I find easy is, put the choke on up to the top, so the choke's facing the top. Pull start it, do not rev it. And once it starts starting up and dying, just keep pulling it, and eventually it'll start up. And as soon as it starts up, just push your little choke down. But I've had this started up for a minute, so let's just see if we can pull start. because she's all running. But when you're not using these quads, turn the fuel off because they tend to start leaking out. Obviously, it's a very, very common problem. And like you say, with these quads, basic minimum. I mean, anybody can do this. You know, like this little video. All you've got to do it, all you need to clean the carb, you've got a star screwdriver. As soon as you take the bottom off, you can get into everything, you can see everything. And then you can use a very small, because there's two sides to it, you see that how it's flat. I just use a pair of pliers, or you can get a very small spanner on there, twist that out, blow through it, and just make sure that the float's set right. What I tend to do is, when the float's in, and so you hold the carb up level, yeah? You should be able to blow through. Happens with most bikes, should be able to blow through when the pedal's turned on. And then, if you can get a pipe on there, it's even easier. Turn the carb upside down, and when you blow through, it should lock. And when it locks, like, so you can't blow through, basically your float is working. Because like normally on other carbs, like Japanese carbs, and the floats are held on the actual mechanicum, and what you do is you get them so they sit, when you hold them upside down, you want the float to be sat level with the carb body, roughly. It's harder to do on these little ATVs and these little Chinese carbs and that. But yeah, apart from that, she starts and runs, and that's another lad happy. So thanks for watching, and if you like the video or if it was helpful in any way, just give me a like and subscribe. Bye.